What were you thinking at that time, actually? I want to know what you were thinking.
I wanted to know, if I'm being honest, if there was if there was the possibility of linking up.
Instead of what do you bring to the table, it should be what is your relationship with money. Only two things makes my husband excited. They both start with S. Soccer and sex.
Guys, listen. I like my woman satisfied.
Hey, you want a repeat customer,
want a
right?
repeat
We say
customer.
we're serving each other. If you want a repeat customer,
You gotta come back. You don't come here and I shower now.
you know, if you want the maximum output, you gotta have the maximum input.
Some
right?
people don't care about maximum output.
Well, hello. Welcome back to another great episode at Insync Marriage Podcast. I'm Tosin LA, and with me is my husband.
Sanmi LA. How's everybody doing? Welcome again.
Yes, we're so excited to have you guys here with us in the studio. And we brought another set of our friends here, and we cannot wait for y'all to meet them. They have such a unique story, and even we are so curious to hear some things that we may have never heard or that even they have never heard from each other. So without further ado, welcome to the studio. We have Shola and Olu.
Yes.
Hey.
Welcome, guys.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us.
By the way, they are super nervous. They've never been in front of a camera before. This is their first time.
Not like this, at least.
Not
Yeah.
like this, not on a
At
podcast.
our wedding, we were. Right?
That counts.
That counts. So we're gonna get right into it. We're gonna have y'all introduce yourselves. Tell our audience like who you are, what you do, who you are. So we'll start, ladies first.
Okay.
Shola.
Hi. So I'm Shola Balogun. I am a ER doctor. I work with Tosin actually in the ER. I have two kids. We have two kids, 8 and a 6-year-old, Yara and Zora. From Chicago, Illinois, born and raised. I will always claim Chicago as my hometown. Chi-town, stand up.
There you go.
And have been in Texas since 2016. So it's been a while. I guess we're Texans now, especially since we have two kids that are born and bred in Texas.
Yes.
But yeah, that's me.
And Olu.
Olu Ogunshola. I am a civil engineer by trade. I am a husband and a father to the two lovely daughters that Shola mentioned earlier, Yara and Zora, 8 and 6 respectively. Awesome. And we're here.
So happy to have you guys. Yes. So first of all, before we get into the topics, so you said Shola Balogun and you said Olu Ogunshola. So let's talk about that.
Okay, let's
because where we're from, I know you guys, those are Nigerian names.
Right.
So
specifically Yoruba names.
Yes.
Yoruba names. So going into our culture as Nigerians, it's customary that the woman takes on her husband's last name. So do you want to tell us why? How many years have y'all been married, first of all?
10 years last year.
Okay.
So this year will be 11 years.
11 years,
So 10 years in, do you want to tell our audience why you're still Shola Balogun?
So I was Shola Balogun when, obviously since birth, and I was Shola Balogun throughout my entire life before I met Olu. I was Shola Balogun through college, through med school, through getting my MD, and I never thought of my Nigerian heritage as a reason to change my last name. It never occurred to me. And I have parents that when they moved here, when they immigrated here a year or two before I was born, they never pushed, strictly traditional values on us, especially my mom. She was very westernized.
Oh, okay.
And so it just never occurred to me. And when we met, we actually met in college. So we met over a decade before we actually got married.
Oh, wow.
And so we were friends first. We were truly like the definition of, you marry your best friend type of situation. Nice. And so it never came up as a topic of conversation like, oh, if you get married, will you change your last name? And so that, in addition to the fact that it never occurred to me, is the reason why I just never changed my name. And, you know.
So I'm curious to hear Olu's
I
take.
thought of it different. To me, I thought it was a professional thing, right? You know, because she's very well accomplished, and the name, the certificates, the degrees, all that came before we got married, before we even got together, right? So she was Dr. Balogun, which, you know, carries its own credence and everything else. So it would be extra paperwork to become
have to
Dr.
go through.
Ogunshola, and as it is, you know, in my family, there's enough Dr. Ogunshola anyway. So I never cared for it too. It was never a topic of discussion for us. I think my parents might have said something at some point, just kind of inquiring, but my parents also, they respect me enough to understand that I don't say much, but when I say something, they know, you know, I've thoroughly thought about it, and they just let it be. So
Wow.
That's wonderful.
Dr.
You
B,
know what?
yeah.
Actually, you're right. It does take quite a bit of paperwork and a process to change your last name once you've credentialed yourself as like an MD or like
Right.
a professional,
Oh, yeah.
whatever. And so yeah, that might have been like a small part of it, like you said. And you said you have a lot of Dr. Ogunsholas.
We do.
We don't
At
have
least
any
5.
Dr.
Yeah,
Balogun.
yeah.
Okay.
And so maybe that like subconsciously was also part of it too. And again, he never brought it up as a topic of concern or contention or anything like that. And so I think that the absence of that, and then
There was
the
no
other-
pressure.
There was no
Yeah.
pressure.
No, and you know, so
Yeah,
as is,
and- yeah.
I'm the kind of person also, like, I'm a jokester, right? So it never bothers me. The only time that you know, I'll say something about it is when I get mail at the house that says Olu Balogun. I'm like, okay, this one we're not gonna do. Okay, so you know, or when my kids, I think it was your mom one time, she wrote something to the
Christmas
kids, the
card.
Christmas card. And it was Yara and Zora Balogun. I'm like,
Oh,
okay.
no.
This one is ours.
So those are the
Jokingly,
That's
but
actually
you know,
interesting.
kidding,
those are
not
the
kidding, kind of thing, right?
situations where we'll correct
Yeah.
it. And then like in professional situations, I go by Dr. Balogun. But in social situations, it's always the Ogunshola family or
Correct.
Olu,
Yeah,
Shola,
yeah.
Ogunshola,
Okay.
or you know, that kind of
Okay.
thing. So,
Interesting.
And that
yeah.
never confuses you?
No, and it doesn't confuse the girls
And the kids
either.
know
They
too. Yeah, this is
yeah.
mommy's last name. This is daddy's last
Yeah,
name.
yeah.
Wow.
And this is our last name. So you know, we're
Oh,
not,
I
yeah.
love that.
Okay.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
most of the female physicians I know, as long as if they get married after they're credentialed, most of them don't change
Typically
it.
don't change
Yeah.
it. Yes.
Yeah.
yes. I
I've
know a few,
just
too.
I had yet to meet a Nigerian one.
That-
So when I met her,
Fair,
I was
yeah.
like, I just was so sure that if it was a Nigerian person, that they would just still do it, that they would go
Right.
through and change it.
Uh-huh.
I know it's a hassle, but I assumed that they would. So when I met her and I was like, wait, that is not your husband's last name? She was like, no. I was like, you don't even worry about that? She was like, never
And when
thought
you
about
brought
it.
that up, I was like, why is she so like?
Well, now you
is that
know, right?
confusing?
It was like, blew my mind.
Yeah.
But this speaks a lot to culture, right?
Mm-hmm.
And how certain things and certain practices have been so ingrained in our minds.
Yeah.
Yes. yes.
And creates a bigger deal
Than it needs to
than
be.
Yeah,
probably
yeah,
should
Absolutely.
be. I can imagine this conversation in some homes.
Oh.
Actually being very problematic.
Yep.
Oh, it's not imagine. I know of people whose husbands have like, you change your name or you leave.
Oh wow.
Yes. So
Yeah.
like, you know how it is now when you get married to someone, they say you take their last name.
Correct.
That's like another, oh, I'm going to take his last name.
Yeah.
It's like another name for getting married.
Yeah.
Or another
yeah.
term for getting married. So not changing it is almost like you're not proud to be my spouse. Or at least that's my growing up,
Yeah,
the
yeah.
way I
That's
thought of it.
interesting,
It's
yeah.
like, oh, so you don't want my last name? Like you don't want to be identified as mine? So
Yeah.
for me, growing up, I mean, when we got married, it was like, as I was saying
You
earlier,
did it
like
very quickly.
the very next week,
Yeah.
Opportunity. Yeah.
as soon as I got that marriage
Yeah.
certificate sent back, I was like, Social Security office,
Yeah.
passport office,
Wow.
ID,
That's so interesting.
switch it.
It just never even
Nope.
occurred to me to even go through that.
We've talked more about
process.
that situation today than
Yeah.
we have in,
Oh
in
my
almost
God.
11
That's
years.
so funny.
Wow.
I
Yeah,
love
because
that.
it just was never a thing.
I
We
love
never
it, and I
bothered
love
about
that
it.
for you guys because it
Yeah.
also speaks to your friendship.
Absolutely.
It speaks.
Absolutely.
I married
it
my
speaks-
friend, not about name. It's not that at all. You know.
Oh my
Yeah.
days,
Yeah.
y'all are so
Yeah.
cute.
And not only
Yeah.
that, I must commend Olu also. It speaks a lot to
His
who
self
you
confidence,
are
how
as a man,
Yeah.
right? Because what you're saying, you're speaking this so
Casually.
casually. I don't know too many guys, especially Nigerian Yoruba guys,
Wow.
who will speak of it the way that you're speaking of it.
Yeah.
It says to me that you're self-assured, you know who you are, and you're not going to be bothered with things like that. That's actually amazing.
It's just
100%.
well, thank you.
100%.
It's just one of those things. I'm super Nigerian in certain other things, right? But this is just one that I could
just
care less
were not.
about. You know,
I love it.
and,
I love it.
you know,
I love
so,
it.
Yeah.
Well,
Thank you.
So now you guys are wondering, did we bring them on the show to talk about last names? No.
Nah, this wasn't the
That was
topic.
an aside.
This was an aside. We wanted to get it out the way in case you were wondering. Yes, they are married. Yes. Yes. Okay.
Officially.
But really, the main reason why they are here is because there is, they went through a season in their marriage that we definitely want to talk about. If you've seen the title of the episode, you already know where we're going with this. But I'm gonna let Shola and Olu tell us about that season. And it was pretty much you went through a season where you were diagnosed with breast cancer.
Correct. Yes.
All right. So tell us.
Let's start from the beginning.
From the beginning.
Yeah.
How
What
did
was
you
that
find
like?
out?
So I found out in 2022. I found out so it's a very interesting story. let me
Do tell.
Okay, so we're married.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
you know, there's no like shame or no like nothing
Nothing's
controversial
hidden.
or
Uh-huh.
anything.
Right.
And we're married, so we are intimate, of course.
It's
And
Dr. Love.
As you should be.
Yeah.
and so I would say it was for like several months.
Yeah.
Several months prior to my official diagnosis, he is the one who had noticed a lump.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So that's why I say, yeah, we're intimate, we're married, So, we're not talking any like taboo stuff here. Anyway, but he noticed a lump in my left breast. And he was like, hey, this is weird. I don't think I've noticed this before. So you might want to get it checked out. And, I was like, oh, I'm probably just going through a time in my cycle where my breasts are like a little bit
Lumpy,
more
yeah.
fibrous or whatever. And I had put it off for a while, I would say for several months, right? It had been almost a year maybe. I had put it off. And then around, I would say October or November of 2022, I noticed. I was like, oh, this is weird. This is not right. Like, yeah, I should probably get this checked out. It became a little bit more prominent. And so I went and got a mammogram.
Okay.
And the mammogram showed something abnormal. Then, as with any, lump or abnormal tissue, when you get screened and there's something abnormal, you move on to an ultrasound.
Right.
And the ultrasound showed something definitely abnormal. And then from the ultrasound, you go to biopsy. And the biopsy revealed that I had something called ductal carcinoma in situ, or DCIS. And by then, it was about December by then when I got the official diagnosis. And it's so crazy because that was a week before I was supposed to go to Nigeria for my cousin's wedding. So we're supposed to celebrate her union, her nuptials, and I hadn't been to Nigeria since I was like 10 or 11 years old prior to that. And
so this was a big deal trip.
Yeah, this was a big deal trip, and I almost canceled it. I almost canceled it because it was heavy. The diagnosis was very heavy. For me, for my family.
You're supposed to go out there and go smiling.
Yeah, exactly. But what's interesting? That trip was actually what I needed.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, I needed it.
I can imagine.
Not just as a distraction, but it was also good to be around family, et cetera. I hadn't told them or anything. My mom went on the trip. My sister went on the trip. And my sister was the only person out of everyone that was on that trip that knew about it. But I'm glad I went. But either way, so yes, December was when I got my official diagnosis.
How did you tell Olu?
On the phone, right? It was literally after, like every time I would go to an appointment.
Of course, you're carrying him
at
along.
the imaging
I went
center.
to a bunch with you too. I don't remember if I was at the final one, but
You went with me to the ultrasound.
okay.
and maybe the biopsy. No, not the biopsy, the ultrasound. The biopsy, you were at work and I was by myself, but I called you right after.
Yeah.
And then when I got the report, like maybe a day or two later, it was the person that did the biopsy, the radiologist. She called me, and as soon as I got off the phone with her, I called you.
Of course.
And told you. And I mean, there was some silence, and I think that I had already gotten like after I got off the phone with her, there were tears, there was a lot of fear, a lot of uncertainty, and then I composed myself and then called you. And of course I called you, and there was silence, and that made things a lot more emotional again. But I'm pretty sure that's how you found out. I called you on the phone.
So,
Yeah.
And at this time, you guys had the two. You've had the two kids at that time. How old were they?
Yeah, they were. So this was in 2022. So 4 years ago.
5 and 2, right? 5 and 3.
Yeah.
4 years.
5 and 3.
5 and
Wow.
3. Yeah.
5 and 3. Yep. Mhm.
Wow.
Yeah.
Olu, what did that feel like getting that call?
I mean, it was like you'd imagine. I wasn't expecting it. It was confirming, right? Was what it was. It's like you suspect things, and like she said earlier, I was the one that felt it. Almost a year prior, right? So, I don't think I ever cried about it. Even till today, it's just one of those things. Like my personality is, I think I cried too much as a kid, that I have no cries left, right? So things hit me, and it looks like I'm a zombie. And aren't you affected? Oh, I'm dying on the inside, but I have to put on this front,
Put it together.
Correct. I have children to worry about. I have Shola to worry about, right? Because I don't know what the solution is. I'm not a medical person. I can't stand the sight of blood, I couldn't. Now I'm, warming up to it. But, I just knew that, okay, well, I just have to be strong for the family. I had to be there for her the whole time, not sure who she's told, how she wants to break the news of family, not sure what she wants to do. Is she going to go through chemo? It was all just, okay, what do you want to do? And I think I was fortunate, for what it's worth, that she was a medical professional as well. Right, so I always rolled with whatever option she wanted.
She chose.
She knows more than I do in this matter, and whatever she wants to do, we're doing, and I'll just leave with the byproduct. And that was that. Never hesitated. It was just, okay, full blast, let's go. What are we doing? And so she decided right away.
He's very much an action person. He doesn't really take not saying it's a bad thing, but he doesn't take long to feel. He's just like, okay, this is what's happening. This is what's going on. What's the next step?
Yeah.
And so that's actually one of the things that I really appreciate about you, because I'm very much a feel type of person. I'm an action person, but I'm very much like a feel type of person too. Very emotional, and like I will put it all out on the table, and then eventually gather myself, and then, okay, like, what's the next step? But he's very much like, immediately, okay, what we got to do, So that's a good way of putting how he kind of handled the situation. Yeah.
That's amazing. So being a medical practitioner, I know what it's like in my head.
Yeah.
We think the worst case scenario, because we've seen it, especially being an emergency room physician.
Yeah.
What were the next few days like for you?
They were hard. So like you said, we think about worst case scenario, especially because we work in the emergency room. And so, and we see people with breast cancer in the emergency room, and the reason they're in the emergency room is because they're having an acute emergency related to whatever it is that they're going through. And so those are the things that go through my head. And I remember I had a conversation. I don't think I ever told you this, but I had a conversation with your brother, like the very next day, because I'm assuming you had told him, and so he called me, and I don't know what it is about your brother, but like, I literally broke down, and I was just like, what if I'm not here for my kids next Christmas? What if I'm not here for their next birthday? Like, just, like I said, just thought about not being here as a result of this diagnosis. Like, what am I going to do? I started thinking about, okay, I need to get a will together. I think that's around the time we put a will together.
Wow.
and thinking about, okay, well, who's gonna help Olu take care of the kids? And this, it's so crazy that we, as women, we deal with things when it comes to health and whatever, but we're prioritizing what's going to happen to everybody else.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so that was my main concern. What's going to happen with Olu? How's he going to, get help taking care of the kids, et cetera, et cetera. And so those were the few days after I found out. And then I got on a plane and went to Nigeria.
I was just saying this. You are gangster. That move for going to Nigeria, that's a gangster move.
But
right
like
there.
I said, I at some point I did think I was gonna cancel the trip.
Right.
But so we talked about it, and I talked about it with your brother. His brother is very much like a confidant, and so is my sister. I talked about it with my sister, who was also going to Nigeria. And she was like, no, don't cancel the trip. Yeah. Like, if you're physically ill and physically feel like you can't make it to the trip, sure, I understand that. But, like, and it's kind of grim when you think about it. She was like, what? This is an opportunity for us to see our family that we haven't seen in decades. And, like, you're going to beat yourself up if you don't go on this trip. And so that was one of the things that kind of set me over the edge and was like, okay, I'll just go ahead and go to Nigeria. So got on a plane, went to Nigeria. Again, I'm so happy I did. And then came back home to reality. Before I went on the trip, I set up appointments for when I come back.
Of course.
And so yeah, that was that week. It was a week before I went on the trip that I got the diagnosis. So that entire week was, wow. Oh my gosh, cry. Oh my gosh, what if I don't make it to their next birthday? What if I don't make it to Christmas? Followed by, okay, I'm not going to go on this trip. Followed by, okay, I'm going to go on this trip. Followed by actually going and then enjoying myself and loving every minute of it. And yeah.
So, Shola, so while I'm sitting here, I'm trying to play out your trip in Nigeria, right? You're there. You just got this diagnosis.
Yeah.
The whole family's happy. I mean, you're seeing people you haven't seen in, you said, what, 15?
Yeah, over a decade.
Over a decade. What was your emotional state?
I think numb was, regarding the diagnosis, I was like numb. Like I knew I had this diagnosis, but I also knew that like there was this celebration happening. So I was kind of in the middle, like very neutral, very numb. But being around family and being there for that particular reason served as a distraction. And so that helped a lot. Not saying that, I wasn't fully in the moment for my cousin's wedding and, celebrating.
And you'd be justified if you weren't fully in the moment.
Right. And I think that because I had family around, and again, the fact that I had not been to Nigeria in so long, I think that allowed me to be in the moment at that time. Again, regarding the actual diagnosis, emotionally, I was just like, okay, well, very neutral. Like I never cried on the trip. I never thought about, what I had thought before the trip, like, oh, well, what if
all the what
ifs, all the worst case scenario. That never even crossed my mind. So again, it served as a distraction, but I was still very fully in the moment. And so that helped. So that's why I say that the trip helped a lot.
Wow. Yeah.
And so, so emotionally it was from the diagnosis standpoint, I was just kind of neutral, but obviously from the, being with family and just being in Nigeria at that moment, for the reason we went, very happy, very ecstatic for my cousin, ecstatic to be around friends and family, ecstatic to be in Lagos, and my mom is from Lagos, and so just excited to be in the space or in the place that my mom was born and bred, and so that was a beautiful thing for me.
Nice.
Olu, did you go on that trip too?
I didn't. No, I stayed held down the fort with the kids. And,
With the kids.
I think we'd speak every day too, and you know, and
Yeah.
even with that too, like it didn't come up. I don't remember us talking about what we're doing about your diagnosis while you were there. It was just okay. How the girls? We're good. We'll FaceTime, and everyone's good. I'm not sure if somebody came down to help with it, but I probably took some days off work around that time, and it was close to the holidays, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
And I think a lot of it was, what am I going to do?
Okay.
it's like exactly, you know, crying over spilled milk.
Right,
It's-
exactly.
yeah,
What
it
am I going
serves
to
no
do?
purpose.
It's like I already have my appointment scheduled for
Yep.
when I come back. You know, there's this thing that it's sitting there. What am I going to do?
Yeah, can't get worse.
You know, it
Yeah.
can't get worse. Right.
And we know it ain't gonna get better.
Well,
unless you do something, so
I love that.
You know,
Yeah.
so yeah, it's one of those things.
Wow.
yeah.
You know, the crazy thing is, now that you're speaking, I was present for that timeline. Had no idea,
Yeah.
by the way.
She hit it well.
Yeah, she
Yeah.
showed up at work
Yeah.
and did what she needed to do, like she always did. And if she never told you, you would never know. And
So she had this thing going on. but
Yes.
She's showing up at work.
yes,
Treating,
other
yeah.
people.
providing
Yeah.
care to
Yeah.
other people.
Yes,
Wow.
Yeah.
girl, you're strong.
I don't even know where to begin with that.
And everybody talking about this trip that Shola went on and how
Yep.
glamorous and
Yeah,
fabulous
I
she
know.
looked
Little
and
did
all
you
the
know.
fun that she
Right.
had.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It tells you a lot about how you never know what's going on in people's lives and why you should
Yeah.
never either judge or envy somebody else
Yeah.
just from what you
yeah.
see on the outside or assume. Just from what you see on the outside.
Yeah. I
But
agree.
you handled it well.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting that you say that because you know I never thought about it as me handling it well. I just thought about it as
Keep
me
it going.
just keep it going and surviving and just trying not to let it define the moments. Being with my kids or going to work and I mean, as healthcare professionals, we went into that field to serve, right? To serve our patients. Because if you go into healthcare without the intention of serving people, then you're in the wrong profession, you know? And so I just thought of it as me just going on about my day. And if I wallowed in this diagnosis, it would just be bad for everybody. You know, it would be bad for everybody.
So did it
Yeah.
change? Because I know of people who, or I've heard of people, or I know of people who get because it could be terminal, right? It's a terminal diagnosis. It can be for some people.
Yeah.
Um, and when they get this diagnosis, for some people, it changes your mindset. It changes who you are. Would you say that this diagnosis and everything that followed afterwards changed you?
It did. I would say it did. I don't think I would have started. So I started my own practice, my own mobile urgent care. I don't think I would have done it if I didn't have this diagnosis.
Interesting.
When you get a cancer diagnosis, and I'll speak for myself. I'm sorry, I will speak for myself because I can't speak for everybody who's had a cancer diagnosis. After thinking worst case scenario and all the bad things that could potentially happen after getting out of that phase of the processing of that diagnosis, you take on, or I'll speak for myself, I took on this mindset that like, okay, well, now I gotta live, like, all the things that because I got my diagnosis, I decided to do, again, it was on the left side, and I decided to do a double mastectomy. That my doctor said, well, you could do a lumpectomy, or you can do, a lumpectomy is when they just remove the cancerous tissue, or you can just do a unilateral mastectomy, so just one breast. Right.
And a mastectomy is removing
removing the entire breast
tissue.
tissue.
Yes.
And even sometimes even going into like adjacent areas.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so I decided to do a double mastectomy because I was like, I do not
You don't
want
want
to
this-
deal
to
with
deal with
this
this
again.
again,
I don't
right.
want it to come back. I don't want it to come back on the same side, on the other side. I just want it done and over with. And so after the whole process of doing the double mastectomy, after everything was done, I was like, I took on the mindset like, okay, it's time to live. It's time to do the things that I've thought about doing, and that maybe things got in the way of, and like life, whether it's kids or whatever, work. It's time to do things that I have thought about doing, or that I never thought about doing, but would love to embark on. Yeah. It's time to live. And so yes, it did change me in that regard. Starting my own business, deciding to take ownership or autonomy over kind of what I was, kind of the workload that I was dealing with, being a full-time ER physician, cutting back my shifts and my hours, which so many people are afraid to do in our line of, in our industry, because we're so used to just that stability, and we're so used to being told, oh, well, you have to serve your patients and this, that, and the other, and then not really taking care of ourselves. And so I don't think I would have done those things if I hadn't had this diagnosis, if I hadn't gone through what I had gone through with the breast cancer. So yes, in short, it did change who I am, how I think, and how I plan to proceed with the rest of my living.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
So I have a question for Olu. Come from a man's perspective, right? That vow thing that we all do when we get married.
Correct.
We say, I'm taking you as my wife. I'll be loyal to you. And then we get to the in sickness and in health, for richer, for poorer. We say those things.
Correct.
And I know when I was saying it, truly, I don't want to sound like like an a-hole, but truly,
You were just repeating after the guy.
In the moment, it sounds like he's just repeating.
They say repeat after me. And you're just like, sure.
We haven't really thought it through.
Yeah.
I'm glad I'm not the only one.
No, you're right.
Yeah,
you're right.
Just going through the motions.
Some things come in my head, and I don't want to say it out loud, so I don't sound.
In theory, you're like, oh yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Forever.
All right, so here you are, right? It's playing out.
Yes.
That, especially that in sickness and in health part. How did you? I mean, she just described having to go through a double mastectomy.
Yeah.
That's not a joke.
I didn't have a say in it.
Okay.
Again,
let's hear it.
She's Shola's the kind of person, right? She's just set. She's known what she wanted to do for, her whole life. She knew she wanted to be a doctor. She knew all this, right? So that's why I married. That much I knew, right? So it was just something else that came with it, right? That, yep, this is what she's doing. This is what we're doing now, right? And I just roll the punches, who am I to tell her how to heal herself, right? I am not qualified. I am not learned enough in that department. So I just followed her lead, right? It's her body, all that, yes, but at the same time, I want her to leave. And if this is the best case, this is the best solution to the problem, then that's what we're doing. That's the answer. So it was never a topic of conversation to discuss in the household. We just went with it. Okay, went to surgery, and I didn't know how invasive the surgery would be. Everything that came afterwards, the care and all that. Well, okay, now you got to drain this back. You got to do this, and I was in there with the surgeon the whole time. Just listening and paying attention and taking instructions down. But you're not trained for it. You just step up when your number is called, and that's exactly what I did. So,
my God.
Yeah.
So in addition to that, Shola just told us how this changed her. How did it change you?
Or did it?
Or maybe it didn't.
It did because I'd be lying if I told you that I didn't think about not having her here afterwards, right? So you value the time that you have with someone more. And we'll get into this. I'll go right away. I am a kind of person that I want others to learn from my example. I want others to, I want to learn from somebody else's example just as well, right? So that I don't make the same mistakes over and over again, because, hey, just do as they did and this worked then. Try it. This is information. This is very, very important. This is what you're supposed to be doing. So when this happened, it was, okay, well, let's go with it. What are we doing? Tell me, tell everybody else, let them know what's up. And then we had that talk. Shola wasn't ready to talk. she didn't want people to know about it. And I, on the other end, said, well, hey, you might save a life or 2 or 100 by just speaking up and letting people know what you're going with. And she wasn't ready. And again, I was quite, because it wasn't my story to tell. And I just followed Shola's lead again in that. So
wow.
Yeah.
So in the beginning, Shola, you were not ready to talk about it. How long did it take before you actually felt like, or how long did it take before you decided, you know what, maybe I should talk about it?
Yeah.
Because you're here talking about it.
Yeah, for sure. That's a good question. I
think you came out to family eventually.
Yeah.
Wait, y'all didn't tell the family still?
Not all.
I didn't tell everybody in the family.
Yeah.
I told like the people who I was very close to. So my sister, my mom, I told my dad. So I didn't tell them until after the trip though, because I knew that it would, my mom is the type of person who she wears her what's
emotions
in her heart. She wears it.
Yeah.
She will wear it.
That entire trip would have been
Everything,
Yeah.
yes.
Yes, exactly.
Shola can't move.
Yep.
Let's let her sit.
And you still
And she came
attention
to
from the
yeah.
celebrants,
Yes,
So I didn't tell her until after we came back from
and she was
Nigeria.
upset, if I recall. She
got really
yes.
upset with me.
Why
for
didn't
not
you tell
telling
me?
her.
And
Yeah, but I told her why, and she was fine.
Yeah.
But so it was immediate family that I told. And I didn't even tell until like literally the day before the mastectomy, which the mastectomy happened in February of 23. Wow. Yeah, I think it was just because I was still processing it myself, and I'm very much a planner. I need to be prepared emotionally, physically, whatever, spiritually, because what will come after, I need to make sure that I'm ready for And so when it came to like just sharing my story just en masse, I can't remember how long it took me. I think it was Breast Cancer Awareness Month that year that I had the mastectomy.
October, right?
Yeah, October of 2023 that I was like, okay, I think I'm ready to... Actually, October
So a
2023.
whole year.
Yeah, October 2023 is when I started my practice.
Yes.
And that's when I think that all kind of came together where when I decided, okay, I'm going to do this now. And then I also gained the courage and the oomph to tell my story too. I think, I don't know, something just clicked. I don't know what it was. And it wasn't necessarily me just being secretive and like, oh my gosh, I don't want to tell this person because they're going to, no, it's just me. I just needed to be mentally ready.
That makes sense.
And again, like I said, there's stuff that will come after, like lots of questions, lots of, oh my goodness, are you okay? Like, oh, you're so, and I don't like receiving accolades. I don't like that. Oh, you're so brave. You're so
warrior.
strong. Right. Yeah. Oh my gosh,
Survivor.
you're such a survivor. And you know what's so interesting? There was something that I was holding, something that was weighing heavy on me throughout, after the mastectomy and everything, because I got clear margins. My surgeon told me they took everything away. I didn't need chemo. I didn't need radiation.
Oh, wow.
And so it wasn't until I joined a Facebook group for breast cancer survivors that I realized what was weighing so heavy on me and why I think I delayed sharing my story. It was survivor's guilt. And so
talk about that.
Yeah, so survivor's guilt is essentially when you have been diagnosed with cancer, whatever cancer it is, breast, whatever it is, and you survive it. And whether it's you had a successful round of chemo, you had successful surgery, whatever, but you had clear margins and you're in remission and you don't have it anymore. You don't have cancer anymore. It's gone, at least for now. And then you listen to the stories of all these other women or other people who didn't make it or are still battling it or are struggling with it. And, and you're sitting there like, oh, am I a survivor? Am I considered a survivor, or did I get lucky? So that was what was weighing. I think that's when I realized, oh, that's what's been weighing heavy, and that's what's been preventing me from sharing my story. And so I think in October, once I, started my practice, something just clicked, and I was like, no, I should talk about it, because it's important. Mammograms, are something that people don't talk a lot about, especially in our community, in the Black community. I've had several patients ask me, oh, well, isn't that the thing where they like smash your boob and it like hurts really, really bad? And that oftentimes is the reason why people don't get them. And I was like,
people still feel that way.
Yeah, yeah,
2026.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, absolutely. And it's a reason why people are, hesitant to even go down that route. And so I think that, combined with all the other things I said, was the reason why I decided, okay, I think it's time to just share my story.
Okay.
I heard in there you mentioned joining a community on Facebook.
Yeah.
And we always talk about the importance of community. And actually, that's what this entire season has been about, is community.
For sure.
And the value that it brings. A lot of people would probably handle a heavy diagnosis by going inward, collapsing inward. But then you went out and joined a community, and that made a difference. Was there anything else that it brought that you feel like, any other value that community brought that you probably feel would have never benefited from or gained if you didn't join that?
Yeah. So I learned a lot about resources that I didn't know existed, that I gained from joining that community. Resources that, whether it's free or, if you have insurance or whatever, that are available to people who may not know much about breast cancer screening, breast cancer preventative measures when it comes to breast cancer. I learned about a lot of resources that I now use when I'm in the ER or when I'm on a house call or whatever. I have a long list of things that I got from that community. So that's one of the things that I got from that. And then also just kind of like people who were in the exact same situation as me, who also felt like they had survivor's guilt because they had this, almost to a T, the exact same journey that I had. They got the diagnosis. They decided to undergo this invasive, very, involved surgery, and then are now left with this burden or this heaviness that they also were realizing is survivor's guilt. And so that's how I learned about what that was, and then just grappling with it and sitting with it and getting past it eventually with that community. I think that's kind of something that's one of the main things that I got from that particular community. Yeah.
So do you think that God played a part in your healing process?
Absolutely. So now I am not a heavy Bible. My faith is not heavily Bible based, but I do have a relationship with God, and I think everyone's relationship with God is different. Correct. And I definitely feel like that relationship came to the forefront as I was dealing with the diagnosis, all the way to the appointments, to the surgery, and then into healing. And so the short answer is yes, I definitely feel like that played a huge part in carrying me through my journey.
Was your and this is a question for both of you. Was your faith affected in any way? And I'll tell you why I'm asking. There's a school of thought that Christianity, or believing in God, means that everything's going to go smoothly for me, right? Yeah. And there's a lot of people out there who, when life happens to them, in this case, you get a diagnosis of breast cancer, people lose their faith. Like, how is it possible with everything that I've done that God would allow me to have to deal with this? And so the faith diminishes.
Yeah.
Did it shake your faith, affect your faith, build your faith? How did that affect your faith?
I mean, for me, it's it's you'd be not human if you said you didn't ask why me questions, right? Why us?
Correct.
Kind of things. But then very quickly, like I said earlier, I very segued into, okay, well, I guess there's a reason for it, and maybe our reason is to talk about it and spread awareness, right? That's also God given.
that.
God wants us to let people know. God wants us to, you could save so many more people by sharing your story. So why wouldn't you, right? And maybe that's the whole lesson from this.
Wow.
Right? It was painful, it was treacherous, but hey, we want to believe that we've helped and healed and prevented many more people. So yeah,
Wow.
Absolutely.
wasn't difficult.
Shola, how about
Yeah.
you?
Yeah, I don't think it ever shook my faith. I think that it might have changed, and there might have been like a slight transformation in my faith a little bit, like in my relationship with God. So maybe the way that, or my prayers looked a little different.
Talk about that.
Before the diagnosis versus after the diagnosis. Before the diagnosis, it was, prayers of thankfulness and prayers for family and friends that, that they do well, that they're healthy, that they're prosperous, et cetera, et cetera. And then after the diagnosis, it was prayers that the people that are around me will have strength to, to navigate and kind of deal with what our family is going through. That they won't lose faith in you as a result of this. That's that kind of thing. And so it just looked a little different. And so it didn't shake my faith. It just took on a different form, if that makes any sense.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
It does. It does.
All right, so Olu, this one's for you. How did you avoid becoming patient and caregiver post the surgery? Because I mean, you described the surgery as torturous, as invasive, extensive. It had to look different in your house.
It did. I mean, it started from, and Charlotte's a very strong woman, I thank God for her, because she has answers where I don't, and it's as simple as, I'm raising 2 daughters and they ask questions and they're super inquisitive by nature. We welcome it, but half the time I have no answers for them. I don't know what to say. And, I have that look on my face, and I'm sure the kids can spot the look now too. Well, go ask your mama, because I don't know, right? So
That's not my department.
Right. So the answer to them was, mommy just had bad tissue, right? She found bad tissue and they have to take it out.
Oh, wow.
And these are, young kids. It made sense to them. It made just enough sense to them, right? So that was that. So you take care of them, I got you, and the cooking, the feeding the kids, the school, all that, that's easy. That's, it's answering the questions then when the kids want to know, because at this point, again, we hadn't told everybody. So obviously our kids know, because mommy's in the hospital, mommy's laid up, all week in bed, and, I have to change this, I have to change that, drain the tubes. And there was, so many things that we had to do, go back to the hospitals for follow-ups and all that stuff. And all that's easy work. It was answering the questions, and she had just enough energy, enough courage still to, be able to answer those questions. And I didn't have to, thank God. So.
Wow.
Olu makes this, it makes it sound
so easy.
Simple.
It's my science brain, I think. I'm an engineer, like I said, by trade, and it's just 1 + 1 is always 2, and there's just it doesn't change, right? So it's not calculated responses. It's just who I am,
Wow.
But the emotion. Let's talk emotions.
Yeah.
Right. I think it helps that you guys were always friends, and that's beautiful.
Love it.
And so when one person goes down, or something's changing in that one person, the friendship kicks in.
Yeah.
So I can hear that already. But the emotional toll, I'm curious, what did that do
Emotionally
emotionally
to you?
Or was that also in the same.
Or were you just logic the whole time?
Was it just
And then
logic?
emotion, has it even ever showed up? Is it still hiding?
I put my wants, my needs in on the back burner. Like, we have a real life situation here. We got to take care of this.
in real life.
This is what we're doing
not
now.
a movie.
We'll talk about the rest later.
I love
you know,
the way
like,
you think.
this is not time to ask questions. And no, like, go time, roll your sleeves up. All right, let's get in. Let's go.
Did later ever come where y'all actually then talked about the emotions?
No, because so every now and then, like, I was pushing Shola to let people know, because I'll take it back. So I know for a fact now, I'm an older person. I've lost relatives to cancer in my family. And as a kid in Nigeria, they didn't tell us that. Or auntie just cut her hair now. That's what we're doing now. That's the new hairstyle, right? So all these have happened, right? So, but I never put two and two together because I didn't know what chemo does to your body and all that. But my aunt travels to London frequently anyway. So, well, this time she goes and she comes up with a new hairstyle, and all right, it's cute. But, and then a couple years later we lose her, and it's like, oh, yeah, what happened? Whatever. We never got the answer, right? So when this was happening with Shola, I was on, hey, it looks now like you're going to make it. Let's let people know. But again, it wasn't my story to tell. And she said it lightly, LA, when she finally came out. We documented everything throughout the process, right? So I was a photographer too. I would take pictures.
Oh, wow.
Oh, you were documenting?
I mean, everything. Because I'm just the picture guy, right? So, oh yeah, turn around, do this one, do this. So she was telling me, do this, do that. Every step we took photos of. I was shocked. My jaw dropped to the ground one day. I'm at work and I look on social media in my break, and Shola's posted photos, and that was her coming out. And I called and says, wow, babe, I am proud of you. I don't remember what the timeline was, but I mean, she had photos of everything in the gown with the stitches and the cuts and everything. Just boom, here's a book.
She just went all out. She was like,
from
I'm
somebody
ready.
from someone who wouldn't say anything to all of a sudden, oh yeah, here's
Social
everything.
media.
And in that format too. So it was, it was just one of those things. And it's like, okay, well, that's that now. So then the questions start coming in, and then people are like, oh my goodness, you guys were dealing with this. We didn't know. And I'm like, well, I couldn't say anything, it wasn't my story.
If we told
to share
you,
with
what would you have done?
Exactly, so no, the emotions, they just,
So there was never ever, because I know that you're the type of person that, when anyone you love, whether it's me or the girls or whoever, is dealing with something this serious, like, you are always, okay, what's the next step? You're always like, you're very logical about, okay, I'm not going to be the one to break down and be the burden to that person. There wasn't any time where you sat by yourself, or you were at work, or you were home, or whatever, where you just kind of really, it all kind of came at once, like kind of flooded in, like whether it was, sadness or anger or whatever.
anxious.
Anxious.
It was anxiety kicking in the whole time, and adrenaline's flowing. It's okay, we gotta do something. This procedure's coming up, or this checkup's coming up. I'll take you to the checkup. I'll drop you off, maybe go back to work and come home. And I was very fortunate too. I had my company I've been with a very long time, and they were understanding. My vice president's wife had been through similar in the past too, so. And that was part of what I did too, right? So when we found out about Shola's diagnosis, I reached out to him and said, hey, my wife's going through this. I heard that your wife went through similar years ago, and I gave Shola the information. She didn't care. Shola's like, no, I got it. It's just one of those things too about her. So it's like, again, just follow the lead. And, when you know that, okay, so she survived as well, so she's good. I reached out to her. She said, yeah, if you guys need something, just let me know. But they were understanding. I kind of took a back role in my position at the time, and, they allowed me to take care of my wife, and I'm appreciative of that too.
That's
and
wonderful.
And it wasn't just them. Eventually, as our friends started to find out, people who send care packages to the house, I didn't have to worry about feeding the kids because so-and-so auntie's sending something over, and, dinner was taken care of. You just focus on healing. And so, yeah, we had
goes
the
back
village.
to the community
It
conversation.
does.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
absolutely.
Yes.
Village.
No, that
Yes.
makes sense.
Yes. So I'm going to throw this to both of y'all, and then y'all, whoever wants to answer can answer. So what is something about marriage through illness that people don't talk about enough?
Marriage through illness. I mean, it can happen, and then
That it can happen.
there's different levels of illness
Yes.
too, and we hope nobody ever has to deal with the ultimate one, but yeah, it's not just a vow You know, it's true. Like you said, you know, yeah, we're all sitting there, you know, looking at this pastor on the day off, and, you know, it's the happiest day of your life, and you're just regurgitating and repeating whatever they're telling you to say, and you don't, for once, think about it, you know. Yeah, I'm supposed to say this, of course, you know, but then when it actually hits you in the face, you're like, wow, like, this might be different. And I thought about that too, you know, like this is my life. This might be different. This could end a different way, but, you know, hey, we're still here, so let's fight through it, and we did, and we won.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, we did. I think for me, it's marriage through illness. So I think a lot of people don't realize who they married until something like this happens.
Oh, preach.
Yeah. So, like I said, we were friends since 2002, 2003. We didn't get married until 2015. So we were friends for a while. And so I think one of the reasons why I said yes to you, if you recall, it was shortly after my uncle passed away. And my uncle was, and I'm about to get emotional because the death of his anniversary death is coming up, but my uncle was a physician, and he's one of the reasons why I decided to become a physician. And he passed away from colon cancer.
Oh, wow.
He never, and he was a physician. You know, physicians are the worst patients. Thank you.
Yeah.
And he never got screened or whatever. But like the process of him once he got diagnosed and then when he passed away, it was quick. It was pretty quick. And so we were dating at the time. And he showed up for me in ways that I never knew existed when that happened. And it wasn't until after we you know, dealt with his diagnosis, dealt with him falling ill and looking ill and then, you know, passing away. It wasn't until much, much later that I was like, wow, like this guy really showed up for me. Like, I know he's always there for me. He's my good friend, and, you know, we've known each other for years, et cetera, but it was just a very different way of showing up that I was like, oh, wow, this is somebody I could probably spend the rest of my life with.
So this is love.
And so I think that carried a lot of weight when it came to
You.
yeah, when I got my diagnosis. It was like, again, you find out who, in my case, I didn't find out who you were when I got sick. I already knew who you were. I already knew you were going to show up. I already knew you were going to be this rock. I already knew all of that because you had already shown that to me. And so in other people's situations or in other cases, I think that's what people don't realize when they are dealing with illness in marriage. Like, you will see you'll finally see the person that shows up when someone gets sick, God forbid, when someone is going through a cancer diagnosis or a terminal illness, etc. That's when you finally see who this person is that shows up to be there for you or not. So that's what I think a lot of people don't understand or realize or think about when it comes to that. So
I love this. And you just took us somewhere that we didn't plan, but I'm going to ask.
Yeah.
So y'all were friends.
we were
first.
Oh no.
For, it sounds like almost I counted maybe like 13 years.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I'm a young old man, right? So, I think I went to Illinois. That's where we met in college. And you came in a year after me, I think, or 2 years after me.
Yep.
And but I was
University of Illinois? Okay.
So I was born 83. You're 84. Just dated ourselves, but whatever.
Just told my age.
And but we knew, like I told her, I said, look, I knew I was gonna marry you since I met you, kind of thing, right? You just didn't know yet.
Why did it take you 13 years?
Because I was also just, watching from a distance.
Let's go through
What?
life.
Somebody else could have taken her.
And that's what it was.
She's gorgeous.
She was in a relationship at the time. Thank you very much. And, and I just respected that, right? But at the same time, she knew if something went wrong, hey, she can call on me and I'd help. And she did. right? But eventually I saw opportunity, and I think
And
I was
you
here
slid
in Texas,
right in.
and I came to Texas for work, and
I was still in Chicago.
yeah, and then we started to talk more and more. It became like an everyday conversation thing, and then I knew, okay, well, she's out of a relationship now, and and all right, cool, you got it. Now it's go time,
You're patient
So
guy.
this is I was,
Yes,
and I
very
mean we have the
patient.
same friends, and all that, so it was easy to, just stay in touch,
Transition.
right? We would have. I think we went on, like, just casual hangs,
I came to Texas to visit him, and this was like right
It's like
before we
2010,
started
I
dating.
think. Yeah.
And
So you
then-
came as a friend.
as a friend.
Yeah, just to
came to
visit.
visit because it had been a while since we spoke and hung out, etc. So we had always just been really good friends. And then after I came to visit you for that weekend, then I think it was you. You were like, "Hey, do you want to just like be?"
Put a title on it.
Yeah, let's
yeah.
just. Yeah, I was like, okay.
Hold on. I have a
Wait,
question.
you're not gonna slide through that. No, ma'am.
How did? Okay. for all that time,
Yeah.
he was always around. He probably, like he said, he felt
knew.
it. He knew. Just was being respectful. How did you not end up friend zoning him? Because that's a real thing.
I did friend zone him though.
How'd you transition
So
out?
how do you transition
People
from
don't come out of
friends-
friend
Yeah,
zone.
I did friend. And would you agree I friend zoned you?
I want to believe so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not even gonna lie. I'm not even gonna dispute that I did. I don't know how you came. How did you come out of
Your
the
friends
friend
didn't
zone?
push you and say.
We should
"You're
ask
gonna-"
you,
Yeah.
Shola.
We need to ask.
Yeah.
He
I wanna
knew
know your
all
thought
along.
process.
Yeah, no,
What
you're
changed?
right.
And this, you told us about your uncle, but that was when you were
I
already
think
dating.
we were already dating.
So
when that
before
happened.
the dating, how did you
Yeah.
go from friend zoning
Yeah.
to now saying
yeah.
yes to him?
I think it was. So I'll be honest. I think it was. So a lot of the time that you were in the friend zone, obviously we're in college. I went to med school.
Oh
yeah.
So you didn't really have a lot of
and
time.
then I was in residency. So I didn't really see myself in a long-term committed relationship during that time. Like I was busy.
Yeah.
And so it was toward the end of residency that we started dating. I was older, I was more mature, I was finishing up my career or like my training.
Yeah.
And I sit back. Sometimes I sit back and I see kind of what it is where do I see my life going, or what do I see placing into my life, and whether it was a text that you sent me or you called while I was having one of those introspective moments, I was like, man, I should go visit him. and then the rest is history. And then I think it was just I was in a phase in my life where I was more receptive to
timing.
It was just the
timing was
timing.
right.
Yeah, I was more receptive to
You finally saw
doing
him.
that.
Yeah.
I mean,
The whole time
Eyes
she was so
finally open.
busy,
Yeah.
her eyes were shut.
It was there the whole time.
Yeah,
so.
I'm not gonna lie.
Calming
I'm
down.
not gonna lie that during that time I was in like relationships, but not like relationships where I was like, oh, I can definitely marry this person or whatever. But I learned from those relationships, and oftentimes I would find myself comparing them to, oh man, like this person is cool, but like it would be nice if we were like more friends, like if I felt closer or felt more connected to this person, very similar to how I feel with you, you know what I mean? Not necessarily thinking, oh, I wish he was more like Olu, but just thinking like, man, this would be better if we were actually really, really
Real
good friends.
Right.
And then at the time where when I was like, oh, let me go visit Olu, like a lot of that came back to the forefront. Like, man, like Olu actually is a really good
Olu's
friend.
cool.
Like he has a good job.
He's got a life together.
He actually has his life together. And we always connect, and like we always are very grounded when we're together.
Yeah.
So it just kind of came together like that.
That's interesting.
If that makes
And then he
transition,
showed you
right?
Yeah.
his empathetic side.
Yeah, when we
And
were
that
dating,
probably
and
sealed it for
that
you.
definitely sealed it.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Because I was still a young attending. No, I was still in residency,
You're in
when you
residency, we said,
proposed. About to become an attending. And so I wasn't really thinking about marriage, but then I think when that happened with my uncle, that was like, oh man, okay, like this is something that I can see myself being, I can see myself being in this type of situation for the rest of my life. You know what I mean? Or being with this person for the rest of my life.
Cool.
It's wonderful.
Olu,
Cool.
Olu, wait, was it her from day one?
Honestly, yes, it was.
Like-
I
It
don't,
was.
I don't
She doesn't.
believe
Okay.
Really?
But hold on.
I
Pretty
know
grounded.
what's in my
I-
heart. I mean,
okay,
you know,
But you
He
were
seems
also
pretty grounded.
dating through that time, I would assume.
not actively, not serious. I was never in a serious relationship.
So you were keeping a
until
spot for
Shola.
her?
Yes, yes. You could say
Whoa.
that. Yeah.
Really?
Yes. I
What if
told
she
you this.
said no?
It is what it is. You
Oh,
know, and,
wow.
What it is.
You know,
Okay.
I want to believe again that was written too, and yeah, I just knew. I felt it when I first met her, and and again we were friends on and off, and I graduated before you, and I moved on, but we still kept in touch, and yeah, we'd talk about you through friends because we have the same mutual friends too. We're part of an African Students Association.
Yes,
So we still had the same groups and
Yeah.
friends and till today, and we would just okay, how's she doing? How's that? Oh, Shola this. All right, cool. Just,
Okay.
keeping tabs from Chicago while you were in Champaign, but
Yeah.
yeah.
That is amazing. You guys
Love the
have
story.
been such a joy to have.
To listen to,
Hey.
actually.
Thank you.
I have learned so much.
Yes.
And
So
I
have
know
I.
I know that our audience have also learned a lot. Now
I
let's
do hope that.
I hope you guys have.
audience
But I want to bring it back quickly. Now talking as a physician.
Mm-hmm.
If you could now talk to everybody as a physician from everything you've been through and what you've learned, what would you tell the women out there?
Don't wait. If something feels off or if something is just not right, get it checked out. I waited a year from when you said something just isn't right. And it turned out okay for me, but just don't wait. Listen to your body, trust yourself, and get it checked out. That's pretty much it. I feel like as women, we carry so much. We carry so many burdens, whether it's family, friends, spouses, whatever, that we put our own needs and our own well-being on the back burner. And I will say one of the things I love about like these newer generations of people, of women and men, is that they're very much into like self-awareness, self-care.
Self-care.
Like,
Oh,
you know
yeah.
what I
They
mean?
got that for sure.
Right.
There is a flex.
Exactly.
They got that.
Just being in tune with what their needs and their wants are,
Yeah.
and I envy and respect that so much. And so I say take a chapter from Gen X's book or Gen Z's book, Gen Z's book, because they are very good about asking questions when it comes to their well-being and just kind of what's going on with them, whether it's mental wellness, physical wellness, et cetera, et cetera. Like, don't ignore things that just aren't right. Get it checked out. That's what I would say.
I love it.
And an advice from Olu to the men out there: if your wife is going through something, what should be your position in that?
I mean,
Olu's playbook.
in most households, right? The man is supposed to be the backbone of the family, the head of the family, whatever floats your boat, right? They call it different things, but I never once believed that. Also, like my wife's the primary breadwinner in our household, but it's just knowing and being comfortable, being confident in who you are, right, and what you bring to the table. You're here for a reason. She said yes to you for a reason, and there's a time to put your foot down and be a Niger man, and there's a time to say, okay, you know what, let's listen, let's do this. You lead, let's try this option, and that's just what it was for us in that time. We did what Shola said to do because she knew better. She was more prepared. She did the research. I didn't. I'm not a researcher. I do not like to read. Oddly enough, so she
He's a
did
numbers
all.
person.
She did all the legwork, and I was
Trusted.
I was trusting in what she had found, and it's okay. Well, this is your body, your right, your everything, and I will be here with you the whole time. And that's exactly what I did. So to the men out there, continue to, wait your time and just be ready in case, if it ever comes, be prepared, pray up, just listen and, and let, follow your heart, I guess.
Yeah, and feel your wife's breast clearly.
Yes.
Enough.
That's important.
Yeah.
Pay attention.
That's it. Pay attention.
Lord have mercy. You're not just touching. Pay attention.
I didn't want to sound
You didn't want to
crazy
say
when
no.
he said that.
He found it,
I don't know that I'm paying enough attention
Bro.
in the moment.
You need to be paying attention.
Apparently.
Seriously, know what it feels like.
I'm gonna spend more
normal.
time on the breast is what I'm gonna do. How about that?
You know they have self-exams for women. Clearly
right.
they need to know how to do it too.
Yes. You should be the first
Yes.
person to know if your breast is, come on, it's yours.
It's yours, right?
And if they don't believe you the first time, say it again.
Kudos,
because
man.
I
Kudos.
said
Olu
it
Olu
Don't
said,
say it
that's
again.
my breast.
Press
I
it
know.
again.
Yes.
I know that left breast. And that ain't right. I love it.
Oh my
I
God, this has
absolutely
been
love it.
wonderful,
This has been
y'all.
amazing.
Yeah, thank you.
Before we shut it down, though, when Olu came in, he said, there's some things I never even told you. And I'm still stuck on that. I want to make sure that before we leave, is there something that maybe you would have said to each other in that season or even now that you have never said to each other that you would like to say to each other?
You go.
During that season?
Even now, that you're like, you know what? I wish I said this to you. Now that we've brought everything back, the emotions are back, the feelings are back.
Yeah. So and I kind of talked about it earlier about the conversation I had with your brother. I don't know if I've ever verbalized
I didn't know you
that
talked to
to
him.
you.
No.
So that's one of the things and again, I think it was for like maybe one day where I truly, like in that season, I truly was scared. And I'm not the type of person who's scared. I'm not, you know what we deal with when we are.
It takes a lot to
You can't
scare
be
us.
scared.
It takes a
Yeah,
lot
yeah,
to
yeah.
scare me. Like vomit, I can't do vomit. But I can do everything else.
Yes.
But there was a day after the diagnosis where I was scared that like I truly did not know if like I truly thought that I was not going to be around to see my kids graduate, to see my kids get married, to see my kids have kids, et cetera, and I verbalized this to your brother, but I don't know if I ever said that to you, and I don't know if it's because I didn't want you to worry, because I know the kind of like person that you are, who you're just like, okay, well let's grab what we need, let's do this, and I didn't want that to break that spirit in you, and maybe that's why I didn't verbalize it to you. But that's one of the things that I never said.
My brother is cool as hell. He's my confidant. I think I even made the mistake at our wedding, and I said my best friend. Again, because I am not a prototype. I just speak what I feel, right?
Yeah.
So I didn't ask Shola's father for a hand in marriage. It's just many things because
Wait, back it up.
I wasn't trained
Let's talk
enough
about
for all this, right? So at our wedding, I said, yeah, my best friend, this is, and everybody looked at me like I said something wrong. In hindsight, okay, well, yeah, I guess you're supposed to say my younger brother.
Younger brother.
Oh, younger
Younger by
brother.
3 years.
This is
but
your best friend.
yes, that's,
This
now.
is the reception, right?
At the reception,
Oh, bro,
correct. My first speech that I was
This is
supposed to
your
give,
best friend.
and so I think somebody smacked me on the head. Said, but all that to say this, he's, I didn't realize how much of a confidant he had become for Shola as well, because he didn't tell me either. Till today, right? So all these years later, but I can run to him with things, and and I know that I can trust him, and he will be in the interest. He will speak in our interest, not just me, or not because hey, you're my brother and you want me to say this, but no, this is what y'all need, to hear and that kind of stuff. So I didn't know that conversation happened.
Yeah.
I never knew that you felt afraid about it, because it's one of those things if she's not afraid, I have no right to be afraid.
Oh, come
Right?
on.
Like, why? What are you scared of? She's waking up every day, going to work, going to Nigeria, gallivanting, doing whatever she needs to do. Why are you afraid
scared?
of? Exactly. So yes, it's real life stuff, but she seems like she's taking it
got
well. So
So
okay,
you were right to keep that from him.
then let's go. Yeah. So
Yeah, at the time I thought so, but
Yeah.
I mean, Now you know.
I don't know. Yeah, so, but no, we braved through it, and I'm so glad that it did, because it got us closer too, right? You know, I mean, like I said earlier, I am squirmish when it comes to blood, bodily fluids. I don't do that, you know. Engine oil, that's my that's my thing,
So
you know.
you do car fluid.
Yes. But this one here, I mean, they said we had to change this every so often. I measure.
The drainage.
We had to measure it and write down the reports. And I put my, science.
Oh, you became a doctor.
I was spreadsheets, just keeping track today. Dr.
So
Send.
your skills.
I showed my skills. Everything came to, forefront, because you have to log this and send it in. And then at some point they took away one tube and put only, kept one instead of two. But all these things was, I want to say, hey, we're all doing it together, It's okay. Roll over. Let's change this. Let's change that.
You were doing it.
We did it together.
The doctor
So
was like, wait, what?
Yeah.
You know how when patients come in and they have a whole
the
it's
binder,
color-coded
the
and
binder,
everything, and we're like, what? This is amazing.
So we logged
That was
every bit
him.
of information that they told us to log, and
I love it.
yeah, I want to believe it made a difference. So
Is there anything you never said to her?
I mean, secretly I was scared too. I thought, am I going to lose my friend? Am I going to have to do this? How am I going to do raising 2 kids myself? I have no idea what I'm doing. I'm just here,
You know what you're
but
doing. You have no idea what you're doing.
yeah,
You didn't give yourself
it's
enough
better.
credit.
Yeah.
Again, you just it's thoughts, right? And it's the things that creep into your mind when you're by yourself, right? Because you have to show this front that everything is good, and
And you did not let that take over.
No.
That's
As soon as it
wonderful.
came in, I wait, on with that. I got a challenge ahead of me. I have to face this, and so that's what we did.
Needless to say, you guys are always on date night.
Always.
I feel like it's always.
Nice all the time.
We need to do it more,
y'all
I
do.
think.
Yeah. I feel like you do. Well,
Yeah.
Shola's for the streets.
She lets you know when we're out. So
Is she?
yes,
Charlotte
yes.
is for the streets.
Girl, no.
Somebody's singing. She just wants to go.
She's there. I
listen,
love
and-
it for
yeah.
you.
But
And
that's one of the things.
You started to live.
Decided to. I'm gonna live. I'm gonna go to that Beyonce concert and get floor seats.
Do it. Do it.
Even
Enjoy
though it
your
costs
life.
an arm and
Yeah.
a leg, but that's kind of how it was.
Life is too short
It's
to,
too short.
to try to follow a
Any
script
pinch, yeah.
every time. It's just some things you just have to enjoy, and
Yeah, absolutely.
no, and
I love
you're
it.
right. That's something that we've done a lot more now too. We did a cancer walk in
Oh yeah.
last October.
the
We
breast cancer
participated
walk,
in the
yeah.
Susan G. Komen walk, and
That was pretty cool. Yeah.
and then you get to learn other people's stories too, and that I want to be a storyteller. Hey, listen, this happened to so and so. Don't let it happen to you too. And and when we walked through that hall that you said, seeing breast cancer has been killing people since the early times. They just didn't diagnose it well enough, and all that stuff, So it's we want to be truth sayers now, and survivors,
And live life.
and enjoy life. Yes.
So before we shut down everything here, I want Shola to tell you about her practice that she started.
Oh yeah.
So tell us.
So it's Express Doc. It is a mobile urgent care, but I do preventative care as well. So essentially, taking all my skills that I use as an ER physician and taking it on the road, essentially going and doing house calls, seeing people in their home environment. Because in my opinion, I feel like when people come to the ER, their blood pressure is through the roof, and they don't normally have high blood pressure.
It's just because they're there.
Yeah,
White coat
because they're in
syndrome.
the emergency room or they're in the clinic or whatever.
Yeah.
So I feel like people are most comfortable at home, and that's when you can actually know the person and know what's going on with them, and actually take the time to go through
care for
whatever
them.
it is that they're going through. And so that's kind of what I do, yeah.
And you take Otis with you. It's Otis, right?
Otis,
Otis.
yeah.
Otis in the wild.
Otis is essentially like a clinic in a chest. It's like a chest that I roll around, and it has all the things in there.
Did you give it that
fluids,
name, or that's his name?
Otis is a patient I had in residency who and I don't think I've ever shared this before, but there was a patient named Otis. I'm not gonna share his last name, obviously.
Please don't.
But
We don't want
there was
that.
a patient I had in residency, and he essentially changed the way that
You feel.
So you
that I
practice?
practice medicine. Yeah,
Wow.
his particular case changed the way that I practice medicine, so that's why I
Wonderful.
named it Otis. And it's again,
I've
it's this
always
little card.
wondered why it was
Same here too.
like, what is
Yeah.
Otis? I guess some
Wow.
guy somewhere.
No, that's where Otis came from.
Oh, wow, that's
So
amazing.
if people wanted to find you, I guess how do they
Yeah,
find you?
so I'm on socials, Express Stock DFW, which is
Spell it out.
XPRESSDOC DFW.
Okay.
And then that's on all socials. And then my website is XPRESS-DOC.com.
Beautiful.
Gotcha.
Beautiful.
All right, guys.
Check me out.
Yeah.
It's a
I can
family
vouch for
business.
this one. Yeah, it's a family business
Correct.
now because he knows
He
how to
does all
change
the behind
drains
the
now.
scenes.
I do, and I can carry
Yeah.
Otis too. So.
And he got a spreadsheet and he
Carries it in
keeps
the
up with
trunk,
everything.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it. We are so blessed to have you guys tonight.
thank
thank you
you.
so much.
Wonderful.
We
Thank
have
you,
been
thank you.
blessed.
No, thank you for
Yes.
blessing us,
Thank you.
inviting us into your home.
Of
I've never
course.
seen your home before. It's beautiful and feeding us.
Thank you.
Yeah.
No,
Thank you.
thank you so much.
Thank
It's
Giving
been
us a chance to
amazing.
share our story.
Yes,
So
Yes.
no,
That's what
absolutely. What
matters.
you guys are doing is incredible and it's important. So,
Thank you.
so thank you for that.
Thank
Just
you.
allowing people to connect and feel and share their story, like that's incredible. Thank you.
Thank
guys.
you. Thank
Yes.
you. So that's it for this episode, guys. As always, babe, what do we want them to do?
You need to go and follow, like, comment, subscribe on all social platforms.
Yes.
All
And
right.
until next time, it's bye-bye.
Bye, guys.
Bye bye. Thank you.